Welcome back to the ETF Inspector. It's Tuesday, August 26th, just about 6:30 in the evening, and this is our daily recap video for LFGY. It's YieldMax's crypto portfolio, crypto industry. It says and tech portfolio, but it's just crypto industry option income ETF. Reminder, as always, I'm on X at ETF_Inspector1. I let you know when the videos are coming out, as well as trades, distributions, and all things ETF related, as well as shout outs when people do the buy me a coffee and things like that. So, all right, we're up to getting close to 4,200 subscribers, getting close to 200 videos already. Started in April 29th, so maybe overdoing it a little. But let's go ahead and take a look. If you watched yesterday's video, you know there was some issues with trades. We were able to get that resolved, so we do have more information for you today. LFGY was up over 1% today. We had mostly green with just a little bit of red sprinkled in. We'll look more in detail on our spreadsheets because it's more fun and we've got more numbers to talk about. But fortunately, the issue was resolved. As you can see, the date here, August 25th trades. So we were able to go back and get all of those trades, put them into our spreadsheet, and then of course here's today's trades, August 26th. So we've got trades for 2 days to talk about. We won't have to spend as long, so we'll get through it quickly. All right. So yesterday they sold a small portion of shares of every single thing they've got holdings in. Okay, they didn't sell out of anything. It was just a small portion. It actually resulted in just over $2 million. And just out of curiosity, I wanted to see what that divided out by the amount of shares was. And it came out to 39 cents. So I've got a feeling I'm pretty close with this estimate. So a lot of times, the only thing, I'm a little nervous because a lot of times it comes when we see a selling of shares right before the distribution, the announcement, it ends up being higher, right? Because they're just in case more people buy into the fund. So if that's their high number, in case people buy into the fund, we may be getting under 39. But the other thought process is that they already have 6.1 million and about 900,000, so almost $7 million sitting free to also be able to use. So maybe they didn't need to come up with as much. I think we're still going to be somewhat close. I'm not going to revise my estimate, but that's just interesting. We don't consider that option trading profit or loss. This is just the shares. So when we look through trades that were made yesterday, again, so if you're going to sell all your shares, or not all your shares, if you're going to sell 6,126 shares of BitDeer, there's 100 shares in a contract, so that'd be like 6,100 shares or 61 contracts, and so you see them closing out 61 contracts in BitDeer. We won't do that line by line. You just understand that's what it is. So we don't have a bunch of complete closes and rolls. These are just closing out the options that went along with the shares that they were closing. They did, however, do a complete close and roll on positions in NU yesterday, as well as XYZ. NU's cost them $125,000 because obviously the stock ran up beyond the strike price, so they needed to move it. Not by a lot. They closed out the 14s and sold 1450s. Stayed within the same week. So if you just stay within the same time frame, but move farther out of the money, you're of course going to collect less premium. So that was a $125,000 debit. And then XYZ, similar, but they closed out their put spread that they had and switched back to a covered call strategy instead. That resulted in a $19,000 profit. So for the 25th, overall options trading wise, they had a negative 131,000. I didn't color any orange because the spreadsheet has already been updated from that point. It's all was live for today. The spreadsheets did work late last night. So today, the only trades, August 26th, we're in HUT 8 Corp. Closing and rolling the positions, closing the 2350s and the 2450s for this week and selling 27s for next week. So that resulted in a $201,000 debit, and with it being the only trades for the day, it was a $201,000 debit or loss in options trading for Tuesday. As you can see, we already talked about value changes yesterday, so you knew yesterday was a bad day for Bitcoin. Today, a decent amount of that came back, right? 60% plus, $3.1 million increase in value. When we look at the individual or underlyings, we have Bitmine up 0.67%. Their $54 calls expiring Friday are still over 8% out of the money. BitDeer Technology down 1.3%, that is. 14 sold for Friday are still 8% out of the money. CleanSpark up 2.4%. They have 10 sold for this Friday, 3.3% out of the money. Coinbase up 0.81%. They've got a call spread where they sold the 340s and purchased 357.50s. So just in case Coinbase went to the moon, they wouldn't have to pay an infinite amount of money to close out those calls. But the goal there is collecting the premium off of those. They're still 10.2% out of the money. Core Scientific, same story, up 2.63%. The sold calls at $15 are 6.8% out of the money. Circle Internet Group, up over 3% today, 5.3% out of the money on 136s that are sold for Friday. ETHA or iShares Ethereum Trust up over 4%. That's nice though, because since they were down so much, no cappage, we got the full increase of 365,000, still 9% out of the money on the $38 calls for Friday. Galaxy Digital 0.6. I actually looked at the wrong thing when I told you there was 6 to 7 million. I was looking at Galaxy Digital's 6 million. There's only 700,000 in government obligation funds and 900,000 in cash, so roughly 1.6 to 1.7 million to go along with that 2 million collected yesterday. All right, Galaxy Digital was up 0.69%. They are in the money by 0.89% on those 2450s expiring Friday. Still 3 trading days left. What are they? 22 cents in the money. GameStop, the big loser over here today, down 1.6%. They have a put spread rather than a call spread on these. So the 23s are sold. The stock dropped to 22.32. They're 3% in the money. So we need them above 23 for this trade to work out and for the holdings to increase. Robinhood Markets up 0.8%. They have 109 sold. They're 20 cents out of the money, so that's only 0.18%. HUT 8 Corp, the big winner, up almost 10.5% today, nearly $1 million increase in value. All positions were closed and rolled after going in the money. Now that is a little, yeah, there's an incorrect formula. No. Hold on one second. See if we can find another put. Getting to see things change live time. These will be wrong too. I'll have to adjust these. And it's going to fight me. The way we were able to tell, that still doesn't, yeah, okay, that actually does make sense. So neither of these are sold, but what I noticed was it said the $25. Now hold on a second. I think I just did all that for nothing. I did. These were purchased calls. I thought they were purchased puts. I'm sitting here thinking I'm covering Alti with the collar strategy. It's all calls. So they sold calls and then bought calls further out. My mistake on all of it. So they bought to close the short calls. They sold to close the long calls. Obviously, there was only $1.50 difference in one set of them and a $2 difference in the other. So it didn't matter how far beyond the 23.50 or the 24.50 the price went. They had that protection at that point. Sorry for that whole little adventure for no reason. iShares Bitcoin Trust, we have up 0.3%. It's actually a little surprising. Look like we were getting a little bit better. I mean, for ETHA to go up 4% and IBIT to only go up 0.3, that's odd. But no options to deal with there. Mara Holdings up 2.86%. These $17 calls that are sold are still 7.3% out of the money. MBTX, there's no option, or there's no shares, there's no holdings, just option spreads. We have a sold credit call spread, sold at 280, stocks at 262.92, so that's 6.5% out of the money, winning that trade. And then a debit put spread, 255s are what are purchased. We said yesterday when this was worth about $5 million that after the big drop it'd be over $6 million, and there it is. It's worth $6.5 million, and I believe it went up a little bit today. MBTX, 0.33%. So that'll drop some, but not a lot. They've got till September 19th on the call spread and December 31st on the put spread. Mercado Libre down a fraction, 0.09%, but that actually results in a decent move when we're talking about a $2,400 stock. So a couple dollars. Still 3.9% out of the money on those $2,500 calls sold for Friday. Strategy, formerly MicroStrategy, up 2.38%. That took these 350s into the money, 0.39%, but no action was taken. They're only in the money by $1.36. So they were $6.80 to close yesterday. They obviously are going to go up in cost after that increase today. So they're going to give them some time. Again, I've said it before. They said the strategy is when the purchased call, the long call, is worth the amount that pays off the extrinsic value or the time value in the short call, that's when they'll roll it. So right now, obviously 680 is not even what it is, but 680 would be what, $5.44 worth of extrinsic time value, and there's only $1.91 of time value there. So it's currently not eligible for that roll yet. NU Holdings up 0.11%. 1450s sold for Friday are 1.7% out of the money. NVIDIA up just over 1%. That took them in the money by just under 1% on those 180s sold for Friday. Opera up 2.36%, still 6.3% out of the money on Friday. These are September 19th's $17.50 calls. We can stop hovering over these puts that I didn't need to copy and paste. PayPal up 1% today. They've got a put spread sold where the 68s are the short, and it is 3% out of the money. So as long as it stays above 68, they'll expire worthless, and all premium collected will be kept. Riot Platforms up over 3% today. That took the 1350s expiring Friday 1.3% into the money. Again, no action taken. And finally, Block down 0.39%. $83 calls are sold for Friday. They're 5.3% out of the money. So all of those changes, ups and downs, resulted in a $3.1 million increase in value. LFGY started the day at $184 million assets under management. So obviously they increased in value by $3 million. They decreased by about $200,000 in options trading, and then we don't know yet how much they changed based on money coming into or out of the fund. So there was no change yesterday as far as outstanding shares, still 5,250,000 when the day started. The NAV, the value of everything, was about $35.13 per share. Stock went up over 1% today, so that would put you around 35.48, 35.50, something like that, all things considered. So it's even higher than that. There is a little premium on LFGY compared to Ulti, I guess just because it's crypto. But tomorrow is Declaration Day, so make sure you watch if you're on X for the repost, or if you're not already, just subscribe to YieldMax, and then we'll talk about it in our video, percentages, everything like that. We'll see how far I was off by. All right, thank you. That's all I got for you. If you want the dad joke, you got to head on over to the Ulti video. Have a good night. Talk to you tomorrow.